Welcome to NEET Biology MCQs educational channel. Are you a NEET aspirant? Get ready to challenge your brain with high-quality MCQs based on the NCERT book. Sharpen your concepts, enhance application skills, and master assertion reasoning and statement-based questions. This is your ultimate MCQ power zone for NEET success. What is the process of assigning a universal, scientific name to an organism called? A. Taxonomy. B. Nomenclature. C. Identification. D. Classification. Correct answer is B. Nomenclature. Explanation. The correct answer is nomenclature because it specifically refers to the process of assigning a standardized, universally accepted name to an organism, typically using Latin or Latinized terms. While taxonomy, option A, is a broader field that includes classification, identification, and nomenclature, it is not limited to naming alone. Identification, option C, is about recognizing and verifying the characteristics of an organism, not naming it. Classification, option D, involves grouping organisms based on similarities, not the act of naming. Therefore, nomenclature is the precise term for naming organisms scientifically. Who introduced the system of binomial nomenclature? A. Aristotle. B. Charles Darwin. C. Carolus Linnaeus. D. Gregor Mendel. Correct answer is C. Carolus Linnaeus. Explanation. Carolus Linnaeus is the correct answer because he developed and formalized the binomial system of nomenclature, which assigns to Latin names, genus and species, to each organism, ensuring a universal naming system. Aristotle, option A, was an early biologist but did not create this naming system. Charles Darwin, option B, contributed to evolutionary theory, not taxonomy. Gregor Mendel, option D, is known for founding genetics, not naming organisms. Hence, Linnaeus is accurately credited for this system. What does the first word in a biological name in binomial system of nomenclature represent? A. Species. B. Phylum. C. Family. D. Genus. Correct answer is D. Genus. Explanation. The first word in a binomial scientific name indicates the genus, which groups together species that are closely related. For example, in Homo sapiens, Homo is the genus. Species, option A, refers to the second word in the name. Phylum, option B, and family, option C, are higher taxonomic ranks and are not part of the two-word name directly. Therefore, the genus is correctly represented by the first term. Which code is used for the scientific naming of animals? A. ICBN. B. ICZN. C. BIN. D. ICNA. Correct answer is B. ICZN. Explanation. The ICZN, or International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, governs the formal naming of animals, ensuring consistency and global recognition. ICBN, option A, is used for plants, not animals. BIN, option C, is not a recognized naming code. ICNA, option D, is not associated with any formal nomenclature code. Hence, ICZN is the correct code for animals. What does Mangifera in Mangifera indica represent? A. Species. B. Family. C. Genus. D. Order. Correct answer is C. Genus. Explanation. In the scientific name Mangifera indica, Mangifera is the genus name that includes all species of mango. The species, option A, is represented by the full binomial, including the specific epithet, indica. Family, option B, and order, option D, are broader classifications not reflected in this binomial name. Thus, Mangifera correctly identifies the genus. What is the correct term for the actual named biological groups used in taxonomy? A. Species. B. Category. C. Order. D. Taxa. Correct answer is D. Taxa. Explanation. The correct term is taxa, singular, taxon, which refers to any rank or group in biological classification, such as species, genus, or phylum. Species, option A, is one specific taxon. Category, option B, is a vague term not exclusive to taxonomy. Order, option C, is just one taxonomic level. Therefore, taxa accurately represents any classification level. From which language are scientific names generally derived? A. English. B. Greek. C. Sanskrit. D. Latin. Correct answer is D. Latin. Explanation. Scientific names are derived from Latin or are Latinized because Latin is a dead language that does not change, ensuring consistency over time. English, option A, is not used to standardize scientific names. Although Greek, option B, influences some terms, the official naming is in Latin. Sanskrit, option C, has no official role in modern taxonomy. Hence, Latin is the universal base for scientific nomenclature. What does the term systematics include? A. Only classification. B. Only identification. C. Only naming. D. Identification, naming, and classification. Correct answer is D. Identification, naming, and classification. Explanation. Systematics is an umbrella term that encompasses all three aspects of taxonomy: identifying organisms, naming them, nomenclature, and classifying them into groups. Classification alone, option A, identification, option B, or naming, option C, are only parts of what systematics involves. Therefore, option D is the only comprehensive and accurate choice. What is the main goal of classification? A. To name organisms. B. To simplify study. C. To write Latin names. D. To avoid species interaction. Correct answer is B. To simplify study. Explanation. The primary aim of classification is to organize organisms into meaningful groups, making it easier to study, compare, and understand the immense diversity of life. Naming organisms, option A, is handled by nomenclature. Writing Latin names, option C, is a convention but not the goal. Avoiding species interaction, option D, is unrelated. Therefore, simplification of biological study is the correct objective. Which of the following is a universal rule of nomenclature? A. Names are in English. B. Genus in lowercase c, italics or underline names. D. Use three-part names. Correct answer is C. Italics or underline names. Explanation. According to the rules of binomial nomenclature, the scientific name must be italicized when typed or underlined when handwritten to distinguish it from other text. English names, option A, are not used in scientific naming. Genus in lowercase, option B, is incorrect because genus must begin with a capital letter. Three-part names, option D, are not part of standard binomial nomenclature, which only uses two parts. You are given a list of organisms with local names. What should be your first step in scientific study? A. Group them by size. B. Assign them local names. C. Identify and classify them. D. Ignore name differences. Correct answer is C. Identify and classify them. Explanation. The correct first step in scientific study is to identify and classify organisms using universal taxonomic standards to avoid confusion caused by local or regional names, which can vary widely. Grouping by size, option A, is superficial and doesn't reflect biological relationships. Assigning local names, option B, continues the confusion and lacks scientific consistency. Ignoring name differences, option D, neglects the need for standardized communication. Hence, scientific identification and classification are essential for accurate understanding and communication. To write the scientific name of the tiger correctly by hand, which format should be used? Option A, option B, option C, option D. Correct answer is option C. Explanation. The correct format for a handwritten scientific name is to capitalize the genus, Panthera, keep the species, Tigris, in lowercase, and underline both separately, Panthera tigris. Option A has both words capitalized, which is incorrect. Option B is fully lowercase, violating the genus capitalization rule. Option D is in all caps, which is not permitted in scientific naming. Thus, Panthera tigris, with correct capitalization and underlining, when handwritten, is the proper form. If a newly discovered plant is being named, which code should be followed? A. ICZN. B. ICBN. C. ICNA. D. ICID. Correct answer is B. ICBN. Explanation. The International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, ICBN, governs the rules for naming plants, ensuring uniformity and validity. ICZN, option A, applies to animals, not plants. ICNA and ICID, options C and D, are not standard nomenclature codes for living organisms. Therefore, only ICBN provides the appropriate framework for naming newly discovered plant species. After characterizing a newly discovered organism, what is the next step in the process of taxonomy? A. Assign it a name directly. B. Group it based on its habitat. C. Classify it into appropriate taxa. D. Publish its image. Correct answer is C. Classify it into appropriate taxa. Explanation. After characterizing an organism by studying its structural and functional features, the next scientific step is to classify it into appropriate taxonomic groups, taxa. Option A is incorrect because naming comes after classification and must follow rules of nomenclature. Option B is ecological grouping, not part of formal taxonomy. Option D is part of documentation, but not a classification step. Therefore, option C is correct. What tool would help avoid naming confusion across languages? A. ICZN. B. Taxa. C. Binomial nomenclature. D. Identification charts. Correct answer C. Binomial nomenclature. Explanation. Binomial nomenclature assigns every species a unique, Latin-based two-part name, preventing confusion caused by regional or vernacular names. ICZN, option A, is a regulatory code, not a naming tool itself. Taxa, option B, are classification levels, not names. Identification charts, option D, aid recognition but don't standardize naming. Therefore, the binomial naming system is the best tool for universal clarity. How can a biologist confirm whether a name has already been used for another organism? A. Through classification. B. By checking in local guides. C. By referring to nomenclature codes. D. Guessing from common names. Correct answer is C. By referring to nomenclature codes. Explanation. A biologist should consult the relevant International Nomenclature Code, ICZN for animals or ICBN for plants, to check whether a scientific name is already in use or valid. Classification, option A, organizes species but doesn't confirm naming status. Local guides, option B, are not comprehensive or authoritative. Guessing based on common names, option D, is unscientific and error-prone. Thus, only the nomenclature codes offer official validation. Which of the following represents a correctly written scientific name? Option A, option B, option C, option D. Option C is correctly written. Explanation. The correct scientific name should have the genus name capitalized, Felis, and the species name in lowercase, Catus, both italicized or underlined if handwritten. Option A uses all lowercase, which is incorrect for genus. Option B capitalizes both names, which violates species formatting. Option D uses all caps, which is never acceptable. Thus, option C is the only answer that follows the correct formatting rules. While observing a new habitat, what factor increases the diversity of organisms seen? A. Looking during the night. B. Covering a larger area. C. Using scientific names. D. Avoiding disturbed areas. Correct answer is B. Covering a larger area. Explanation. Observing a larger geographical area increases the likelihood of encountering a greater number of species and ecological niches, thereby enhancing observed diversity. Night observation, option A, may change which species are visible but doesn't necessarily increase overall diversity. Using scientific names, option C, aids communication but doesn't affect what is observed. Avoiding disturbed areas, option D, may help preserve ecosystems but doesn't inherently increase diversity observed. Therefore, wider spatial coverage is key. What is the lowest taxonomic rank that includes both dogs and cats but not wheat? A. Genus. B. Family. C. Order. D. Kingdom. Correct answer is D. Kingdom. Explanation. Dogs and cats belong to the kingdom Animalia, while wheat belongs to a completely different kingdom, Plantae. Genus, family, and order are much lower levels of classification and cannot group both dogs and cats together. For example, dogs belong to Canidae and cats to Felidae, so they don't share the same family or order. Kingdom is the lowest rank that includes both dog and cat, but excludes wheat. Thus, the correct answer is kingdom. Which group includes both dogs and cats but not wheat? A. Plantae. B. Animalia. C. Fungi. D. Species. Correct answer is B. Animalia. Explanation: both dogs and cats are multicellular, heterotrophic organisms that belong to the kingdom Animalia. Wheat, on the other hand, is an autotrophic organism from the kingdom Plantae. Fungi includes organisms like mushrooms and molds, which are unrelated here. Species is a very specific category and would not group dogs and cats together. So, Animalia is the correct taxon that includes both animals but excludes wheat. You found a new mammal species. To properly classify it, you must study A. Only its outer features. B. Only its diet. C. External and internal traits. D. How people use it. Correct answer is C. External and internal traits. Explanation: accurate classification in modern taxonomy depends on comprehensive analysis, including external features, example, morphology, internal anatomy, developmental biology, and sometimes molecular data. Only outer features, option A, may be misleading. Only diet, option B, is not sufficient to determine taxonomic placement. How people use it, option D, has no bearing on scientific classification. Therefore, examining both internal and external traits is essential for proper classification. Approximately how many species of organisms have been described by scientists? A. 2.5 to 3 million. B. 0.5 to 1 million. C. 1.7 to 1.8 million. D. 3 to 4.5 million. Correct answer is C. 1.7 to 1.8 million. Explanation: scientific estimates indicate that around 1.7 to 1.8 million species have been formally described and catalogued by biologists. Options A and D are overestimations, and option B is an underestimation. The value 1.7 to 1.8 million is the widely accepted figure for known species to date. What is the name of the system that gives each species a two-part scientific name? A. Taxonomy. B. Binomial nomenclature. C. Classification. D. Systematics. Correct answer is B. Binomial nomenclature. Explanation: the system of binomial nomenclature, introduced by Linnaeus, assigns each species a two-part Latin name, one for the genus and the other for the specific epithet. Taxonomy, option A, is broader and includes more than naming. Classification, option C, deals with grouping organisms. Systematics, option D, includes naming but also identification and classification. Therefore, binomial nomenclature is the specific naming system. What does the second word in a scientific name represent? A. Genus. B. Author's name. C. Specific epithet. D. Common name. Correct answer is C. Specific epithet. Explanation: in binomial nomenclature, the second word in the scientific name is the specific epithet, which distinguishes the species within the genus. It does not represent the genus, option A, is not the author's name, option B, and is never a common name, Option D. Therefore, specific epithet is the precise answer. What code is followed for naming animals scientifically? A. ICZN. B. ICBN. C. ICAN. D. ICND. Correct answer is A. ICZN. Explanation: the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, ICZN, ensures consistent and globally accepted naming for all animal species. ICBN, option B, applies only to plants. ICAN and ICND, options C and D, are incorrect or irrelevant in this context. Thus, ICZN is the authoritative code for animal nomenclature. What is the correct way to write a biological name when handwritten? A. In bold. B. All caps. C. Underlined separately. D. Written in quotation marks. Correct answer is C. Underlined separately. Explanation: when writing a scientific name by hand, each part should be underlined separately, the genus name capitalized and the species name in lowercase, example, Homo sapiens. Bold text, option A, all caps, option B, and quotation marks, option D, are not used in formal scientific naming. Therefore, underlining each part separately is the correct handwritten format.